Welcome to the stream, everybody. How are y'all doing? It is time for more Seekers of Sarmanath. How have you guys been for the last week or so? I haven't heard from y'all. What's new with you guys?
I finished book 10 of The Wheel of Time.
Nice.
So I got that going for me. Not as bad as everyone told me, but it is definitely like basically nothing happens that book.
Is that the first one that the son or something wrote for him? No. Is that like?
That's book 12, I think. Okay. But yeah, it's just like the last chapter is literally just like a normal chapter. Then out of the blue, it's like, hey, this thing happened. See you later. And then that's basically the whole book. And then I saw that Baldur's Gate 3 trailer. Had a big moment of, okay, sure, why not?
The levels of excitement are palpable with Sean.
And that's about it.
Nice. All right, hey, it's a good time. Anybody else? What have you been up to? Dan, tell us about the gym.
I say a lot of the same for me. I actually don't go to I canceled my gym membership at 24.
Oh my god.
Man.
Yeah, a lot of work.
This is groundbreaking. Like, what happened? You were living the life. Gym work.
It's just too expensive.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. How you getting your gym in now? Half your life's gone. Is it all video games?
Nah, just going for runs and stuff, you know.
All right.
I need to get a gym membership at one of those like cheap ones, like $1 or $10 ones, or whatever.
Fair.
I feel added just then because literally I just go to work, come home, play video games, and then pass out.
Well, I mean, that's your thing though. Dan's thing was work gym. Your thing was work video games.
Well, I mean, I played a lot of video games. Don't sell my video gaming short.
All right. Well, cool, dude. Good luck getting your dollar gym membership.
$10.
$10. Okay.
You
Okay.
can
That's
do
better.
it at Planet Fitness, but they've got other fees and stuff that raise it some.
He's gonna go to Crunch or something with all the old ladies. Show them how it's done.
Mm-hmm. They like
They'd be excited for you to join them.
There's like a dilapidated bench press in the back.
Yeah. Or you're gonna be on those little machines that like squeak when you use them, right?
Oh, and they're only gonna go up to like 100 pounds too. Like,
no. You're gonna be the only one at the gym. You're gonna be that person that puts it down to like 165 or 175, and all the like kids and other older people that come in are like, oh my god, he's
I
a
hate those
Superman.
when they have 165 pounds and they're like looking for like the 25-pound weights to just like jerry rig to the machine, and you're like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Something else out.
Alrighty, Mike, how you been? What's been new with you?
Graduations have been happening in Salem, which has meant work's been a shit show. I assume it's probably just as bad for Dan up in Portland, but I was at work last night till 12:30. I didn't get home till after 1 a.m. I've got a cold or allergies or something coming on, so I slept like the hottest of garbage, and barely made it out of bed in time to be a few minutes late to Seekers this morning.
Well, we're glad that you managed to drag your hot mess self out of bed and come join us.
We do, however, have a new LUQ shirt, which Millman has already purchased, but
Number one, motherfuckers. Number one.
it is,
Very good.
I requested it, and then it was like, boom, up, and I was like, damn, bought. And then they were like, oh, there's a promo code, and I was like, I've already bought it, you suckers, you're too slow.
it is the LUQ logo with the rainbow background instead of the purple and yellow one for Pride,
Right.
2019. You can actually use the code PRIDE, PRIDE 2019, Pride 2019, in order to get $2 off that shirt if you are interested in repping the LUQ podcast. I would put the promo code in chat, but if you type it into chat, it makes you try and cheer 2019 bits, and I have 0. So it will not let me type the word pride 2019. It forces me to try and do bits, and I don't know how to make Twitch not do that.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Dot in front of it without a space.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
What?
Yeah, and you cannot enter that code. So that'll just have to be a code that listeners only get.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah,
for those of you that watch and read lips, you're screwed.
Yeah, if you mute the stream and put it on in the background just to be a good guy so Greg gets views, you don't get that code.
Alrighty. Faye, what has been going on with you? What's new in your world?
Well, I have a nephew now.
Hey,
Born
congratulations.
last night. So I already said to Greg in about 12 years I can turn him into a DM. That'll be amazing.
Why wait that long?
'Cause they're crazy before that.
Did.
Have you ever played with like an 8-year-old? I played
Yeah.
with my like younger cousins. It was obnoxious. It was like, so
Crazy.
the Goblin Cave is to the east, right? You've been hired to clear it out, and they're like, let's fly to space with our unicorns and fight demons. I'm like, what?
I wish my brother was that creative. I was like, all right, I'm going to teach you how to play Dungeons & Dragons. He's like, I want to be a barbarian. I was like, fuck yeah, this is going to be...
Man, that's
then
great.
He wanted to kill everything.
Yeah,
I was
very
like,
good.
You're in town.
I'll
He's
take
like,
I feel like that's
"I'll
everybody's
kill
first name.
everybody.
It just
And I was
turns
like,
into murder
okay,
hobo.
Fair
Let's
enough.
do this, my little motor hobo. And now he does his own games and shit.
Now he's out here murdering
He does his own game.
So fun.
He had like
He doesn't even play Dungeons and Dragons anymore. He's just a barbarian in real life now.
Yep.
I'll just
Yep.
lay
So
over
other
the-
than your sister's biological output, what else is new in your life, Faye?
Not an awful lot. It's summer here. I cleaned my terrace, so that's pretty much the level of excitement I'm
Woo!
at currently.
Spring cleaning. All right. We are
Yeah, I
a
actually did a
lively
lot of
bunch.
spring cleaning this week. I'm getting it. Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, very exciting. Oh, also my neighbor, she locked herself out of her apartment, so we had to climb upstairs to let her in again. Over the balcony, I'm still waiting if the police is going to show up tonight, and they ring the doorbell because they saw somebody break into another apartment climbing up. Might be AFK for 15 minutes, but yeah.
I
All
feel
right.
reassured that they noticed. If that happened over here, somebody would be like, "Oh, don't worry about it."
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Australia's really laid back. They'd just be like, Did they look shady? No, they was just climbing the side of the building. All right, let us know if you hear anything."
No, around
Right? Like,
around here, everybody talks about everything. I have this one neighbor across, and the whole street is talking about him because he has his Christmas tree still up on his balcony, and it's like fucking June.
I
And he
had a
hasn't
neighbor
done
who did that.
anything.
One of my neighbors did that. They'd keep their Christmas tree up year round, and I was always like, that seems so convenient. Then you never have to like take it down or put it back up. And everyone
Yeah,
else is
but
like, no,
yours is not a
no.
real. Yours is not a real one, Sean. That's
Oh,
a real
oh,
one.
it's a
He's
real
it's
tree.
like red and brown over there, just laying across. It's not even standing up. It's laying across the balcony like a giant tree corpse. That's what it is.
Okay, that's more bad.
Every time I feel bad about not accomplishing something, like a task I've set myself for a certain day or something, I just look across at the back. I'm like, if this dude still has his Christmas tree up in June, I can do whatever I need to do today. Poison for my procrastination. He really is. I'm so mad.
That's
amazing.
much more bad. We use plastic trees here because they, you can just like rebox them.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
At our apartment that I shared with Greg.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you had a plastic tree.
Brooks had that plastic
Oh, was
tree.
it Brooks that
Greg,
had the plastic tree?
Greg would always turn off the
Well,
Christmas
nobody
light.
was enjoying it. I was the only one in the room, and I didn't want to watch it. Like, if people were in there enjoying it, go for it.
You'd like turn on the Christmas lights to be festive, so that when you would like walk out in the room or you would come home, you know, the Christmas tree would be there and the lights would be on, and then you'd get home and the lights would be off, and Greg would be playing video games and be like, "I turned the lights off. They're wasting electricity."
Well, they were. Like, no one was using them or enjoying them.
You, Greg.
I stand by this decision. Okay,
I'm totally
look.
behind that decision. Were they like flashing lights, or were they just on?
No, they were
on.
just the the little itty bitty white LEDs. You know,
Were they in your like view? Like, could they?
Yeah,
they were. I mean, they was
Yeah.
in the middle of the room.
Okay, then yeah. Sorry.
You'd been to our apartment. They were in that little like
Dan
that little
knows.
like.
They were by
carve-out-
the AC unit.
Yeah, they were.
Okay.
They were the little carve out unit in front of the fireplace
Yeah.
that we never used.
I'd be seeing that while I'm trying to game.
Yo, we used that fireplace a few times. I remember me and Brooke sitting there trying to turn that mother on. It was not easy.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Oh my god, that was we earned experience points for defeating the fireplace. Okay, like it was
It
a
was a
challenge.
Yeah.
Millman,
Wait.
what
When
are
do we
you
face
up
the
to?
Fireplace puzzle in game.
Defeated a fireplace?
Yes, we defeated the fireplace. I will explain the fireplace off stream if
Okay.
need be.
Okay.
Millman, what have you been doing for the last week? Let's kickstart this.
All right, I've been working. I went back to playing Freeman, Guerrilla Warfare, and now I'm stuck. Like 2 hours ago, I was stuck on an infinite loop of the red flag terror group just onslaughting my base, and then I'd be like, "Fuck! That was like 150 men versus 20. All right, I better buy some guys to reinforce my garrison, and then I'll rest to recuperate." Literally 20 seconds into my rest, it's like, "Oh, your garrison's being raided by a bigger number." I'm like, "Oh, thanks." And then I ran out of ammo. I had to bail out of a war, walk like, I think it was like 4 hours. I had to march my men south, buy more ammo, then march back. And then I killed another 135 men solo while all my poor men got gunned down like dogs. And then tried recuperating again, and it happened again and again. And I was like, I need to go and lay down. I've got sneakers in like 5 hours. And then I looked, I was like, I've got like an hour and 20 minutes till I've got to get up for Seekers. I was like, fuck's sake. This infinite loop of being onslaughted was driving me insane.
Well,
But in saying that, I feel very confident in my FPS skills. Like, I could shoot AI for weeks. I know where the hitboxes are on trees. 'Cause apparently these trees aren't trees, they're fucking motorhomes. So if you shoot close to it, you hit this invisible wall. I know that the AI disregard the fact you're behind a wall, and they'll still just rail the building when you're standing there. It's good fun. That I've been catching up on Ultimate League of Questing, and I got a shout out. And I had grease in my pocket on the way home. If you follow me on Twitter, you would have seen me walking out with a stick of butter in my pocket. Random, but just happened to happen at the same time I listened to that episode, which was fucking weird as shit. And yeah, you're asking somebody who's on an hour and a half to ramble.
How was your day? Well, I was home with the piece of butter in my pocket.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta do that.
I think Croak would be very proud of you having grease in your pocket. All right.
I got a message. My mom was like, "Can you grab butter on your way out from work?" I was like, "Sure." I like have to walk down the dairy aisle anyway to leave my store, so I just picked up a stick of butter, walked through the checkout. Over here, you don't have to put in PIN codes or sign anything. You can just swipe your card.
It's probably a car now.
Yeah, I run the butter over, I swipe my card, and I put it straight in my pocket, and I was like, I literally have a kilo of butter in my pocket right now. This is so weird. I must take a photo of my kilo of butter in the pocket.
Nice.
After
Is your
listening.
butter different than our butter? Because I feel like if I stuck a stick of butter in my pocket, it would just melt.
It's winter at the moment. So I just...
So body
Stuck.
heat doesn't factor because it's winter. Is that?
No, that's true. All
Australians are
Australians
cold-blooded
are
people.
cold-blooded, and
Yeah.
their body temperature
Yeah.
drops in the winter.
Okay.
I'm not real, you know? Like, I'm by NASA to
All
save
right.
the world is round.
Well, that is quite the tale that you have told. Let's channel that injury, that that energy, thank you, into fighting this dwarven ruin here.
Oh,
So,
man, I'm terrified.
if you remember the last time, the 5 of you have fought a pitched battle through the depths of the Amber Hall, killing goblins and fighting a very overmatched roper, speaking with the dead, learning of the old dwarves that used to rest here. Rose spent her time picking through a large amount of garbage and trash loot, and eventually found some interesting things that you decided to ignore, because none of you can hold dwarven weapons very effectively. And so moved on.
Did we not take it? I
No.
thought we took it at least.
I was gonna ask about taking the hammer, but then we moved on. We can do it on the way out.
We've got the regular Warhammer. We just don't have the big one from the statue.
Yeah, and the big
I'm
one's the
pretty
one I'm
sure you left the regular Warhammer, but regardless,
No, Faye
it
gave
looks
to
like
me.
you
It's on
picked
my
it back up. Very good job, adventurers. You left that part of the adventure having heard of a great angry dwarf, giant dwarven statue that the goblins feared most. While searching for it, you went to the largest of the dwarven burial chambers, and inside you found a scene of carnage. Goblin bodies strewn across the floor. The large statue holding a golden hammer in the very back of the cross of an altar with a strange mithril box laying on the altar. As Goric Gravemantle crept his way forward into the tomb, you saw the statue's eyes burn a bright red as it creaked its way to life and stared at you and in a graveling voice yelled, "Intruders!" And so we begin today. Goric facing down the giant statue with a hammer of gold as it creaks its way off of the podium. Anyone who entered the room with him, feel free to roll initiative as well. Goric, you and this beast are gonna go head to head.
I don't see any tokens on the map.
There are no tokens on the map
Okay,
because
I'll go and slide mine in there.
you can if you desire. I'm not going
Oh, we're
to
not gonna
be
use it.
using
That's fine, too.
no.
I don't know about you, but I don't want to get yeeted by a big fucking dwarf.
Well, sometimes you just gotta.
All
I
right,
know-
Sambar
I'm
with
all
10, Rose with 10.
Sometimes you just gotta get whack-a-mole.
Tom
I mean,
with a
I'm
mighty
all
3.
about beating
Eric with 7.
the lolly than yeeting the lolly, but like I don't want to be yeeted.
All right, oddly enough, Sambar, you are the first to react. As you come barreling down this hall, you see the emptiness of the tomb and the dead goblin bodies sprayed across the floor, this giant golden statue coming to life, threatening you with its intruders. What do you do?
I'm going to dart behind the closest pillar and then just trying to get out of sight and see if I can not be noticed.
All right. You dart behind one of these statues, a large dwarven man holding his hammer underneath his breasts. Please make a stealth check.
A 7. Never mind.
A 7. All right, you attempt to hide as best you can behind this hammer, getting your bow ready, trying to get the drop on this giant statue. That brings us to Rose. Rose, you see your friend duck and hide. You see the statue coming after Goric. What do you do?
How far away is the statue approximately?
When you entered this area, you are roughly 130 feet from it. So, probably like a round of combat away from it.
Right. Would he fit through the door?
You think most likely yes. This whole hall is built to a very large standard. Large ceilings arcing up way, way higher than you would seen anywhere else. The hallways are wide and deep. You could walk 5-10 abreast across the hallway.
Okay. Run away. He's too far away from my spell, I think. So I'm gonna do a hide as well for this one.
Okay, you jump across to another dwarven statue, ducking in behind it, trying to hide yourself from this this oncoming threat.
Oh wow, going well.
You throw up your grass hood and attempt to get in a very
I'm
natural
just a green
pose next to the
splash
stone.
against the gray wall. It's super obvious. Yeah, so like
Yes. Very good.
super sneaky.
Janlar, you are the next to react. You see the statue come to life, threatening Gorik, your friend, starting behind statues, trying to get prepared. What do? You unmute yourself. You're still muted. Come on, Dan.
Didn't realize it wasn't letting me unmute myself when I was in roll 20. I had to bring up Zoom. Stupid. I hate this thing. All right, we're at the far end of the hall, right?
You just entered, yeah, you and Gorik.
Okay, pretty far away. That's like over 120 feet, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can move up and you'd be within 120 feet easy.
I'm gonna stay stealthy with the rest of my party.
You cowards!
We're on a natural one.
All right.
Straight up.
You duck behind.
Pretty good.
Which statue are you ducking behind? With Rose or with Millman? Or with Sandbar?
With Rose.
All right. You duck next to this green splotch of grass next to the statue. Attempt to hide behind both the grass wall and the statue itself. Getting prepared to cast whatever nasty spell comes to mind. Excellent. Gorik, you have been threatened as you walk into this room. The large statue with eyes burning coal red is called Intruder and steps
So
forward.
we're like kind of here, right, between these front two set of pillars, like kind of right as we enter.
You're like right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
There aren't any goblin bodies in the hall behind us, right?
Not particularly, no.
Okay, so it looks like they're mostly contained to this room.
Yes.
Okay. Are these statues on the ends? Are they holding like books or parchment or scrolls or something?
These ones right here.
No, on the far edges of the room.
Here?
I'm not sure how far you're zoomed in.
I'm zoomed in fairly close. Where are you? Ping me a statue. Oh my god, way the fuck over there. Yes.
Yeah, those statues. They look like they might be holding some kind of parchment.
They are not holding actual parchment. They are
Okay.
holding stone that has been etched to look as if they are holding a scroll or a book.
I will attempt calling out to this big statue in Dwarven. I'll tell it. In the name of Ungral, be still. Halt.
Interesting.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not using command because I don't have command prepared.
Sure.
But I'm speaking in Dwarven and telling it to stop.
Okay, you speak your command in Dwarven. You tell it to stop. The statue trains its eyes creakily on you and begins to stride its way forward.
Okay. As it
Each
moves,
thundering
Gorik
step.
is gonna back up.
Okay.
These guys are hiding behind pillars. I'm gonna move to here.
Alrighty.
This next set of this 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah, I can get like just behind this row of pillars where there aren't any dwarf or goblin bodies anymore. I'll be like, I'm gonna back
Alrighty.
up.
This large statue begins to brandish its hammer at you and begins striding forward. Each step covering 10 to 15 feet as it strides forward. This oversized statue towers above you. As you realize that you probably cannot outrun this thing, it strides up next to the very glorious hide check of Rose and Rose and Janlar. It saw you dart behind here, and it strides up to your statue and swings its mighty hammer down at... Actually, which one of you is it going to target? Oh, it sees both of you relatively easily. It swings its hammer at Janlar. You hiding behind
Goodbye,
the grass.
Janla. You were my favorite.
With an 11 to strike, it seems that his hammer isn't quite at the proper angles. He swings in a long, slow arc. Both you and Rose scatter as it hits the floor. In a shower of pebbles and stone up around you, you are unscathed. Tom, you've seen this thing stride forward up to your friends hiding behind the statue. What do?
I snap my fingers and coat it in fairy fire.
Ooh, very nice.
Needs to make a dexterity save or be cast in light.
All right. You snap your fingers, and a shimmering glow of violets and pinks and oranges surround this creature, falling upon the statue, outlining it in a glowing light.
Okay, and then I found out from Mike I can't do another spell even if it's a bonus action because 5e hates me.
You can do a cantrip.
Yeah, but cantrips aren't too useful for me. So let's just chill. Let's just kind of hang out here.
All right, excellent. That brings us back around to Sambar. You are on the other side of this creature. It's back to you as it bashes at your friends. What do you do?
I kind of like, you just see me lean as far to the left or right, depending on which side I am on it. And I'm like, so we're not fighting the big fucker? I'm out. And I just sprint straight past it and go straight for the door.
All right, you sprint past it as far down the hallway as you can.
60 feet.
As
Sambar, you jackass!
As Sambar says that, Gorik will be like, there is probably a command word to turn it off, but I don't know what it would be.
Just kill it!
Just see me fucking run past the
I fairy fired it for you!
I don't want to destroy this tomb's only defense against pillagers.
It has to die!
I'm becoming evil. Shit.
All right, Sambar, you
I
race
draw the
down
line at defiling dwarven shrines.
You race down the hall to the sounds of bickering clerics behind you, getting as far away from the dwarven statue as you can get. Rose, you have ducked away from this shower of stone as it tried to attack Janlar. What do you do?
How far away is Gorik from me?
Gorik has retreated another 15 or 20 feet away from you into the smaller hallway.
Right. So what I'm gonna do is, I mean, this obviously isn't working. The hiding is not not a good strategy. So I'm going to use my action, turn into a war horse, which is an entirely white horse with like a green patch on its nose. And then I'm gonna charge into the direction of Gorik.
Oh, okay.
Not to hit him, but I want to go and pick him up if I can. So.
All right, you transform into a white horse. Your cloak falls to the ground. A big white horse with a green splotch on its nose arises. It comes charging towards Gorik. You leave the threatened area of this creature as it has its hammer, and it swings a big looping hammer strike down upon you as you try to race away from it. For a 15 to hit your horse. I believe that'll do it.
Ooh, I believe that hits a horse, yes.
Yes.
1 second, I gotta look this up.
All right.
Quick, so I don't make it up. But
Maybe
you
I should
can
just
roll
keep my
damage,
monster manual
and
on
then
hand.
I'll see. Never.
Do you mean to look it up?
Like,
I should
Yep.
just keep my monster
You can
manual on
roll-
hand to look up all the weird animals that Faye transforms into.
It is harsh, but you can just roll damage, I think, and then I'll roll my HP when I find it. Darn it.
AC 11, HP 19. Well, 3d10 plus 3. Faye.
It's okay though, because now we're gonna know whether or not this thing does like 12 damage.
Yeah, that's true.
It does 9 points of damage to you
that's
as
fine.
it crushes into your horsey flank. You kind of spill off to the side. Your legs scramble for purchase, but you manage to continue on your way.
So did you
just a little
say
bit of a
9?
limp.
Yeah.
Yes, about 9 points of damage as the hammer crashes down into the flank of your horse. But you charge your way over to Gorik, where he has entered the smaller hall. All right, excellent. That brings us around to Janlar. Janlar, this thing tried to crush you with its hammer as you tried to hide behind the statue. Now it is right in front of you. What do you do?
Kill it!
I look to my left and right, and I see that my companions have fled.
and you just hear Sandbag go, "Get the fuck out of there, Jedler!"
So yeah, I was gonna disengage, but seeing that last attack, I'm just gonna turn and sprint as fast as I can in the opposite direction.
All right, you turn and run from the statue. It follows you with an arcing, slow swing of its hammer.
Why are we running? We can't outrun it.
It strikes you with an 11.
That does not hit.
That does not hit. You race out of its way. Its arc of the hammer too slow after previously swinging at Rose's departing form. You race into the hallway past Gorik. All right.
There's no bodies in this part of the hall, so maybe it only defends that room. Also, the hall is more narrow up here at the
Yeah, I'm
top.
trying to get up here. That's my
Maybe it
goal.
doesn't fit through there.
And if not there, then further. Somewhere
I
else.
mean, Greg said it looked like it could fit through the door, so I think it could also fit through the hallway, probably.
I mean, if it chases us out of this place, at least if we outrun it long enough, it'll just turn around and start killing
It is a
everything else.
25-foot hallway. It is quite wide, even at its most narrow. Just
And it can
so
fit
you
us-
guys know,
That's
this
okay.
is
I don't have
less
to
of a
round on it,
choke
I just-
point than you think.
Okay, are we using the measurement that Roll20 gives
We're
us?
not
right
really
at-
using the map so much as anything
Okay.
but reference, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So, you guys... you see Janla run past Gorik. You've used only your movement. What are you doing with your action, if anything? Or are you
Done.
double moving as far as
I'm
you
dashing.
can?
Yeah, I'm dashing.
Alright, you dash away down the hall, following after Sambar's clip-clopping hoof beats. That brings us back around to this creature, which turns and sees Tom as the last remaining in this room, and
Doesn't
steps
Gorik
forward.
go right after Janlar?
Gorik does go right after Janlar. Gorik, you see this thing turning towards Tom and yourself. What do you do?
I'm gonna cast Ray of Enfeeblement on it.
Alright.
I'm pretty sure it needs to make a save for Ray of Enfeeblement. I don't think it's
Rays usually have an attack roll associated with them.
Attack roll, then they have
You're
a.
within range. Yep, make a ranged spell attack. Okay.
Yeah. You do have advantage from Tom's Fairy Fire, though, so please
Cool.
roll with advantage.
2d20. That's not gonna work. There needs to be a space. 17 plus 7's 24 to hit.
That will do it.
Okay.
Your ray strikes the creature.
All right. So it is gonna deal half damage with weapon attacks that use strength until I stop. I lose concentration on the spell, or until it makes a Constitution save at the end of its turn.
All right, your ray strikes it. It's like this yellowing ray. You see it like slow even more in its movement, and it just looks labored, but it's still so large that it moves fairly quickly as it stomps its way over towards Tom.
I'll move. Well, actually, before I move, I'll
Are you
ask Tom.
climbing on? Or
No.
are you staying where you are? Okay.
I haven't moved yet. I'm gonna ask Tom. I'm like, can you use a warhammer?
Yes.
I will unclip the warhammer that Rose gave me to ask me about from my pack, and I will.
That you picked
I will-
up during the pre-show. Good job.
Well, I never said I didn't take that. The
All
only
right.
hammer I put back was the giant one from the statue.
All right,
That was the one that I wanted too.
Build it.
You unclip
Yeah.
the warhammer. You toss
Yeah.
it towards Tom.
Yeah, and I toss it to Tom, which unencumbers me, and then I run down the hall.
You don't get on the horse?
Oh,
All
is
right.
the horse waiting for me to get on it?
Yes.
Oh, I thought she continued down. Okay, yeah. I'll dwarfily climb onto the horse.
All right. Gorik unclips the warhammer, tosses it at Tom, says, "Good luck, Holmes," and climbs aboard Rose's horse form. All right. The creature makes its way to Tom finally. As the hammer falls at your feet, this creature stomps forward and takes a
Flashbang.
mighty swing at you. A ray of Briges's fiery light flashes in front of his eyes as it swings down upon you, with a 12 to strike you.
Miss.
All right.
Clutch flashbang there, Tom.
Yep.
Ah, very good. The creature grinds itself back up, preparing for another blow. Tom, what do you do?
I'm gonna swing this warhammer at it.
All right.
What does warhammer deal? D8.
Or D10 if you use it two-handed. Yeah.
Yes, that is
I'm
correct.
keeping the shield, so just a D8. Okay, so 2d10, D1.
Greg, do you want it to make its con save at the end of its turn to see if it's...
Sure, it'll make a con save. I like con
Oh, is this for the
saves.
enfeeblement?
Yeah, it's to see if it's still enfeebled or not.
I believe that'll
It's not.
pass.
That does pass. It is no longer...
It is no longer enfeebled. It shakes off this ray of enfeeblement, this yellowish light. Seems to be moving much more freely. Tom, you pick up the battle hammer and swing at the
I'm gonna
creature.
swing at it with a 24.
24 will hit.
Okay. Let me know if this seems to be working properly or if it's doing like reduced damage.
You strike the creature. It rings out throughout the cavern. It seems to be doing reduced damage.
Okay.
You did. You felt a pretty weighty blow into the creature and had little, if any, impact on it. Actually.
Okay. I was thinking about slugging it out, but if it's right here with me, I don't. It's just gonna chase us if we run. Is the problem? Yeah, I'm not gonna eat an attack of opportunity to run away if it's just gonna chase me down next round. I'm just gonna hold my ground.
All right, Tom holds his ground, battle hammer in hand. Sambar, you've raced down the hall as fast as your goat legs can carry you, or your deer legs can carry you. What do?
Alright, I'm roughly there, right? Like I'm
Can you up your volume a touch?
I can go way louder.
Perfect.
Am I up here in the doorway area?
You have run down this hallway as far as you can. You are at the end of the hall.
Alright, perfect. I'm just gonna turn around and I'm going to yell at Tom. I know you want to die, but now's not the time. And then I'm just going to fire 2 arrows at it to try to get its attention.
All right, you pivot, turn around at the end of the hall, and string 2 arrows into it. Fire away. 28 will hit it.
This is that magic one. That one, and second arrow.
14 will miss. Your arrow strikes true, but just glances off the stone of the statue. Ineffectual in the second arrow. And once again, your arrows... Oh, no, your arrow strikes true for a full 5 points of damage, doing exactly what you think your bow should do to it.
I really need to identify this bow.
All right, excellent. That is Sambar's turn as he turns and fires 2 arrows over the head of the hall. That brings us to Rose. You have Goric mounted on your back in your horse form. What do you do?
Right, so just so I understand, it's like we are the most bottom people on this map, is that right? The most southern
Tom
people?
is most southern than you by like 5 or 10 feet, and then it's you two, Janlar and Sambar at the end of the hall. Do you guys really need your tokens for this fight? You guys are killing me.
It is.
No, we don't. It's pretty clear.
All right.
Yeah, but if you are close to us, do I eat an OA if I flee from this?
Here's Sambar. He at the end of the hall. He chilling. Here, Janlar.
He's also
He's
massive.
a little bit behind him because he can't run as far. Tom's down here duking it out. We got Rose in a horse form with Goric on her back right here. And we got big old beast of, like, I don't know. Here we go. Golem.
Sambar, do you have increased movement, right?
I only have 30 feet. I don't get movement speed until...
I'm not encumbered anymore, so I can move. Cool.
That was just flavor, my dude.
Oh, okay.
Sambar's more athletic than Chandler is, so.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And he was a little bit ahead of me anyway, so.
I'm a fit boy. What can I say?
Sandbars. Or Jambar's
Here,
not.
some big fucking hulks down here. Ah, there you go. Now you got tokens.
So the dude is like here?
Yeah, he's busting up with Tom right here. He's fighting.
Okay, so... Okay. Is it my turn or am I just asking
It's
questions?
your turn. It's your turn, Rose. What are you doing?
I have 120 feet of movement if I charge. So I'm gonna run, I guess, down here, do a horse leap down the stairs here, and then run down here with, like, Goric on my back as far as I can in the direction of the chest and the original position of the statue. And I'm looking... Like, I'm not sure if I can see it from the distance. I'm not quite sure how far away am I. I'm looking for, like, a switch or any indication that is, like, that turns this thing off, you know, so we don't have to destroy it.
You with Goric on your back come racing over here. Jump down the stairs. Race back over to the staircase over here behind the creature, almost up to the altar. Excellent. Yep. Janlar! Yes, Janlar, you see the horse form of Rose take off with Goric, going behind the creature. Sambar has fired arrows at it. You are running with your back to it at the moment. What do you do?
I am going to move back down the hallway a little bit.
Okay.
Toward Tom and cast haste on him.
Ooh, okay. You
I'm not sure
cast
how long
haste.
this
Is
all
that a
is.
touch spell?
No, it's 30 feet. I'm not sure if I can get close enough, actually. This is probably a pretty far hallway, isn't it?
You dash down this hallway, so you could take a half move to get halfway and then go.
Okay. Then yeah, I'll move half my move and then cast haste on him.
All right, perfect.
Awesome.
Tom, you feel the rush of energy course through you as Janlar once again unleashes his haste spell in the dungeon. Your body quivers with excitement as every molecule of yours races as fast as it can go. That brings us to Gorik. You're on the back of Rose. You've been raced down to the bottom of the room next to the altar. What do you do?
As Rose is carrying Gorik farther into the room, he'll be like, "Not the direction I thought we were going to go, but okay."
I'm so sorry, I can't speak at all. It's I was like, shit, he has no idea what I'm gonna do. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, he'll kind of pat your flank a little bit and be like, "It's okay. There may not have been goblin bodies in the hall because none of them lived that long." And then I'm gonna look at the. You said we're like right up by the altar.
Yeah. So this trapezoidal kind of. It's not a trapezoid. This geometric pattern here is a raised altar that was in front of the dais where the statue was carved. It is ornately carved along the edges with dwarven runes. But the most intriguing asset of it is this large mithril square box in the center of the altar.
Okay. You said it's covered in dwarven runes. Do they say anything? Can I read it?
You can. You read the runes along the altar, and they speak of the House of Amber. It is the story of the founding of the hall, and how the great lords of Amber dug for 1,000 days just to get to the center of the mountain, where they found these amber crystals and knew that they had found their home. Their leader is depicted in the statue here, the great Umber, has told them to carve out a great hall amongst the amber crystals. And on top of this statue is this mithril box. I guess so. Umber is his name. The Amber Hall is his home.
Right, but you said that their house name was like Amber or Amber Lord.
Yes, their house name is Amber, named after the hall they founded.
Right, so his name was Umber Amber.
I guess so. Hey man, you don't argue with the dice. What do? You're in combat, my friend.
Well, I was hoping that the altar would give me some indication of how to turn the damn thing off. But it doesn't seem very useful. I will hop off Lay Horse, and I will move up to where the statue came from.
Sure.
The plinth that it was on, and I will start looking for either any runes regarding the statue or any like switches or devices that look like it might deactivate it.
All right. Please give me a perception check.
Okay. Perception or investigation?
Perception. Perception is spotting things, it's seeing things. Investigation is the putting together of clues and understanding what you might see. Investigation is the interpretation of what you know, and perception is seeing what's there.
All right, that's 14 for
14. You look around for switches, clues, anything that you might find. You come away with no indication of panels or switches or levers. You do find runes that say the likeness of Umber, protector of the stone, just engraved on the front of the dais where the statue came from.
And a big yellow sticker that says, "If he has moved, you are fucked."
There's one of those like machine shop like lockout tag out tags, and it's like lying on the ground rather than in place.
All right, that brings us to the great statue that raises its golden hammer once again to strike down upon Tom. Once again, Tom invokes the fires of Burgess to shield him. So you are struck with a 9 that misses. Once again, the hammer is swung wide after the flash of light, crashing into the stone around you, showering you with little pebbles. Tom, what do you do in response to this assault?
It's time to it's hammer time. It's hammer time.
It's hammer time.
So we got a 24 to hit and a 24 to hit.
Okay.
Because
Do you have
I get the
multi-attack?
haste bonuses.
Oh, the haste. Perfect. That is correct. Yes.
Or wait. Oh yeah, no, it's a bonus dice. Yeah, 2 attacks here.
Yep.
I'm thinking something else. So 2d8 plus 6 damage here. It takes 17 damage from the melee attacks. And then as a bonus action, I'm going to cast Spiritual Weapon.
All right. Yes. Your spiritual weapon comes down. The great spear of Burgess.
And it's going to stab at him for d20 plus 6. Oh,
Perfect.
I get... That's going to hit anyways, I think. So
That
yeah, 22.
is. Do you want to fish for the crit?
I did the second roll just to check.
Oh, okay. There it is. Yep. 22 hits.
All right, so it takes another 11 damage. I don't know if this one will be mitigated since it's a magical weapon, sort of.
Yeah, it strikes the creature and seems to be very as effective as the arrows that Sambar threw into it. Excellent. That brings us back around to the top. Sambar, you see Tom locked in mortal combat, his magical weapons striking the creature. What do you do, Mr. Sambar?
Okay. I'll just like sigh. I'm like, I guess I'm gonna have to let Gorik down this time. And I'm gonna let an arrow fly, so 16.
A 16 misses. It strikes the creature, bounding off of it.
I'm not gonna sharpshooter, because it's not gonna fucking do it. Second shot.
A 14 also misses. Your arrow's inconsequential. Just bouncing off the creature.
Action surge, another 2.
Okay.
22.
A 22 hits.
What is roll 20 doing? Can you not roll 20? Yeah, I'm just gonna click that one. There we go.
12 points of damage. All right.
And then second arrow for the action surge.
21 hits. Please roll damage for 6 more. All right. The peppering of arrows poom, 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 start leaving marks and dents in the creature. Pieces of debris fall off. They start crumbling on top of Tom. You're choking in a cloud of dust. It seems that the magic holding this beast together is waning. That brings us to Rose in horse form down by the altar. What do you do?
Oh man. Okay. I use my bonus action to get out of the horse form, and I see that like I can't see anything. Gorik apparently hasn't found a switch, so I'm just gonna crouch next to that altar and I'm gonna open the box.
Ooh, you crouch next to the altar and you put your hands on this mithril box. As you do this and try to look for an opening, you realize that there are no creases or crevices on the box. It is smooth. There's no hinges on it either. It almost feels like the metal itself was grown into place as you fumble with it. As soon as you touch the box, you hear this thing turn its mighty form. It turns to face you, looking at you in the box. The fire in its eyes burns higher. It's not its turn, so it can't actually move, but that's what it does. Anything else you do with your turn? I think you've interacted with an object and moved. Do you have a bonus action?
I guess I also wait. Is it
D
Sorry.
shift?
What are you saying, Gorik?
Well, I was saying her bonus action was to get out of animal form.
that was my bonus action.
All
But
right. Perfect.
wait. Was the interact object thing a free action or is that an action?
No, you're investigating this box, right?
Right, because you said like object interaction, but it's fine. It's fine. I'll just prepare for the blow to come. All good.
Alrighty. That brings us to Janlar. Janlar, you see this thing turn its head, looking at the people behind it. What do you do?
I'm gonna run. Seeing that it turns back around, I'm gonna run back. Toward,
Alright.
I can't grab my thing. Oh, there we go. Can I get all the way into melee range? I'm not sure.
Yeah, you've moved. You dashed up here. You moved halfway. You can come back. Absolutely.
Okay.
You
So
move
now
up
move-
into melee next to Tom.
And should attack it first. I'm just gonna pull out my dagger then,
All right. You pull out your dagger.
and I'm gonna stab it. So I'm expecting it to turn around. Yeah,
You have advantage as it is colored by Tom's fairy fire.
By the way, does that timer start when I cast the spell or at the start of my next turn?
I haven't used my
When
dagger.
you
in a second,
cast
but I'll
it.
look it up real quick.
Okay, so that was round
That's
number
5
3
now.
just now.
Nice.
Janlar attempting to show these fighters how it's done with his dagger.
Yep. So that's a 24 to hit.
A 24 hits. You strike true, piercing into the crumbling stone of this creature. For
3
3 points of damage. All right. You are noticing that your dagger doesn't dig as deep as you hoped, and seems to be less effective than you would otherwise expect. That is Janlar's turn. Gorik, you are down here onto the dais, next to where the statue originated from. What do you do?
You're muted.
I can't find any runes here that look like they deactivate the thing. So I'll try like turning and just shouting at the statue. I'll be like, Umber, hold. And then I'm going to just kind of run this direction.
All right.
Runs away.
You shout at the creature, choosing not a command word that it recognizes, and race the other way.
I was hoping its name might do something, but yeah, that was my best bet.
All right.
And I'm trying to get to this statue, but I don't know how far through this room I can move.
You can move. Like, where are you trying to go? Where are you trying to ultimately end up?
That the statue with the scroll that I was talking about.
That's
earlier.
gonna be like 2 moves away from you, 2 or 3.
Okay.
Moves.
All right. Yeah, because I'll action.
If
dash.
you dash
Dash.
there in one of your turns, you can get there in 2 rounds.
Okay. So yeah, this turn I'll dash, so I'll be like there. And
Okay.
I'll get there.
Sounds good. Excellent. You dash over, trying to get to one of these scroll-wielding statues over here.
And I'll bonus action spiritual weapon as well and attack the statue because it's gonna kill us if we don't turn it off.
Okay, you're doing a lot in this turn. Sounds good, though. Your magical sickle, pale and light compared to the burning bright of the spear, races forth. You cast it before you take your dash action. And it slices into the creature for a 27. Please roll damage.
What does spiritual weapon do? Is it 2D?
D8 plus your, unless you're casting at a higher level, but it's D8 plus, yeah, if you cast at 3rd level, then it'd be plus an additional
Yeah,
1D8.
I'm just using it at 2nd level, so it'll be, because I crit.
1d8 plus your damage bonus from wisdom.
Plus my wisdom bonus. Ah, damn. I forgot the R. 16 total.
16 points of damage. Your scythe cuts true, cleaving deep, ragged gashes into the stone. More of it crumbles down onto Janlar and Tom. You see the lights in its eyes begin to flicker. They no longer burn with the same bright intensity, which brings it to this creature. It immediately turns its back to its 2 assailants and strides forward towards Rose, provoking attacks of opportunity from Tom.
I think the spiritual
Janlar.
weapons as well, right?
Sure, why not? I don't know if they work that way, but I'm down.
I don't either.
Attacks of
so
opportunities all
25 from me.
around.
13 from the spiritual weapon.
The 25 hits, the 13 does not.
Okay, so D8 plus 3. That's from the Warhammer.
All right.
Takes 9.
Takes 5 points of damage. The 26 will hit.
Yeah, that's my spiritual weapon, so 1d8, because this one's not a crit. Nope, that's not plus 7, that's plus 4. 7's the attack bonus.
And then, Greg, since I'm a warcaster and I haven't cast a spell this turn, can I cast Ray of Sickness as it's trying to be working?
Yes, you can.
Okay. I'm going to do so at a 2nd level.
Okay.
If I miss.
That's a 9, but you have advantage, so please roll your advantage. Fairy Fire is not dissipated yet.
Oh, I thought
A 25 does hit.
Take that. 3d8, and then it needs to make a con save versus poison.
It does not need to make a con save versus poison. It is immune. However, as it approaches Rose, you see it getting buffeted, hit, struck by the weapons of the spiritual creation and Tom's warhammer. It strides forward, losing pieces. Finally, Janlar's blast hits it. The sickness curls through all its cracks and dents, and it rips itself apart, and it showers at you in a trail of dust and stone, falling to rubble in front of you.
Oh, man. I'm just standing there with my hands in front of my face while all the dust is getting sprayed on me, and I'm just shaking.
Yes.
I'm just like...
With the final blow from Janlar's magic, the creature is reduced to rubble in front of you. And once again, you find yourselves lying in the eerie stillness of the Amber Hole.
Goric swears.
I'll slap Tom on the back and say, "Good job, brother." And release.
At least somebody stuck by my side.
I'm gonna release the haste, so he's probably just like exhausted, and I'll help.
He's stunned for one round.
Sandbars in the back. I'm like, sorry, Goric. I'm gonna go fetch my arrows. Or ones that are-
Any arrow that struck this creature is automatically broken.
Okay.
So,
what about the ones that missed?
the ones that missed, you have the 50% recovery on.
Okay, so I get 2 back.
There you go. So, Sambar starts recovering his arrows, finding them to be more broken. Rose, you have this strange, not silver, mithril. Very obviously mithril. Even if you have not seen it before, this metal is clearly of a different make than any other that you've seen. And in a dwarven hall seems to be mithril, grown together. What do you make of this?
I am going to carry it over to Goric.
Okay.
I'll be like, Goric.
Does it come up? I thought Greg said it was like grown in place.
The metal seems to be grown together, but the box is not attached to the stone underneath
Okay.
it.
Is it heavy or is it rather lightweight for what I would have expected?
It is rather lightweight for what you would expect. If this was an iron box of the same size, you would expect it to be much heavier. However, it is light
Right.
in your hands as you pick it up.
Nice. I'll bring it over to Goric and I'll say, Goric, I'm sorry that we had to destroy the big dude, but do you want this?
It's a. Right now, it's just like a mithril cube, right? Like
yes,
there's no
so as you
latches or
look on it, the metal is grown into this square box. It is seamless with no hinges on it. There is a keyhole in the very center of it.
Okay.
But the metal itself is otherwise smooth. And it is not sheets of metal. It's not a featureless square box. It is like ringlets of metal woven into themselves, right? Almost like tree branches that end up becoming this square box with a keyhole.
Okay. I don't know if I want to take it or not. I don't know if it's Amber Lord's remains, in which case it should probably stay here, or if it's some sort of treasure that will almost inevitably be looted on
Go
the
ahead
ground.
and give me a religion check there, Mr.
Sure.
Cleric of Umber.
Greg, while we're standing around this box, I'd like to take the time to cast Detect Magic as a ritual as well.
Sure. Yes.
Oh, they're all doing that. I'm like eyeing off this hammer, the big gold hammer. I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna lift this?
With that 15 there, you are quite certain this is not Lord Umber's remains.
Okay.
A lord such as him would be entombed with some regalia. His remains would not be reduced to such that would fit in the box, burned or otherwise.
Okay.
His grave is probably underneath the stone of that statue, you would expect, just based on your knowledge of halls and the one you came from.
Okay. Is this other statue the one that I was pinging earlier? Is there any writing by this one?
Yes. These are scholars of some renown that began the Amber Hole. It is a requirement among Dwarven culture that you bring somebody who understands the nature of the Hall and who can begin the book rites to found it. So these are the two scholars. The one you're going to is from one house. The one on the other side you would expect to be from another, holding the original scroll Obviously not at a scroll, it's carved from stone, but a signifier of the original scroll that would have started the book that you now have wrapped up in your bags.
Okay. There's no indication on this thing of a command word that would have deactivated the statue either, right?
You investigate it for some time and find a new command word.
All right. Well, I'll kind of read this, and I'll go read the other one too, just for the sake of thoroughness. But I'll be like, I don't think we would have been able to turn it off. Destroying it was probably inevitable.
I can't imagine you would include the command word to disable your defense mechanism next to the defense mechanism.
Well, that's a good way to have serious accidents. Goblins can't read. They're illiterate savages. They wouldn't have been able to deactivate it with the command word even if it had been plastered on the thing's forehead.
It's a dangerous assumption.
I doubt the dwarves only protected their halls for goblins, though.
Exactly.
It's true.
If you include the command word next to it, you can only be robbed by smart people, but most people would prefer not to be robbed by anybody. Thank you very much.
So where's the key?
Can you locate the key as you did the beating heart?
I mean, the key is not very unique. We might find lots of keys.
Yes, if
I
could-
look around, I'm like, I don't see a lot of keys, so
Yeah, I'm not
for
sure
a key's a good idea.
how your magic works.
I mean, maybe the key is made out of the same metal as the box, you know? Maybe we could try to find the material instead.
Okay. Now you're thinking.
Well, we do have
I'm always thinking.
we do have a wizard, right? He could theoretically just use a little bit of magic. Just give a little bit of that good old magic. And
Yeah, do you
pop
know
open,
Knox,
right?
Chandler?
No, I used all my magic protecting us in the fight. Very little
All
left.
right. So, about this time, Janlar, your magical ritual is complete. Your eyes open to a blaze of magical light, and you see that of the things here in this room, the obvious one that glows magic is this mithril box. It glows with enchantment magic, very brightly. If you want, please, during this 10 minutes, give me a perception check for your investigation around the room for magical items.
It's a fucking Christmas tree room!
What? What?
You find a dead Christmas tree on the balcony and feel better
The
about
whole
yourself.
room lights up with speckles. All the magic items in one place.
No, the room wouldn't light up at all because nobody was here to enjoy it.
As you investigate, you go very slowly and very carefully, and you don't get very far until your magic eventually wanes out from behind your eyes. But during your investigation, you do find that buried along the shelves of dwarven bodies in this corner near the scribes is a small crate. It is buried underneath a shroud bearing the dwarven runes of a house name. And inside the crate are 6 diamond-shaped vials that have a bluish-clear liquid in them.
Mana potions. Amazing.
Yes.
Could you repeat what you had said about the box real quick for me as well? So
The box glows
Bright
with
magic.
a bright magic of enchantment.
perfect.
Yes.
Hey guys, I found some strange magical vials over here.
Do you want to drink one really fast and see what it does?
I can do it.
I was gonna say I'm not injured. If it heals you in any way, that would be quite a waste.
I'm not injured either. Is anyone injured?
Are there any
No.
markings on the vials?
I'm not sure. Can I?
You examine them, and they are finely cut in a diamond shape out of crystal. There are no markings on the glass. Rather, they're just very nicely cut in a small.
Is this the kind of thing like I assume potions are fairly uniform in appearance, right? Like if you have a healing potion, other healing potions look similar to it, right?
In Sarmanath, if you've been in Sarmanath, the city, for some time, and many of the potion makers make potions quite similar, quite the same.
So, well, I guess what I'm asking is, would this be the kind of thing where a wizard might make an Arcana check to identify a potion by sight? Like, you could see, oh, yes, this has a clear-ish blue liquid. I recognize that as a potion
Perhaps
of
you could
haste.
try. Although I will say that would be much more effective inside the city of Sarmanath or a more modern city. Inside this dwarven hall that you're looking at potions that could be as little as 1,000 years old or more, maybe that Arcana check's a bit harder. But if you want
who knows if the potion is the same,
right?
As it was originally made.
Hey, Greg, I have a question for you then. Goric is trained in the history skill, and his pre-adventuring profession was a glass blower.
Oh, yes?
So I imagine he's probably made potion vials before.
Sure.
Would he have any chance of knowing historically what a diamond-shaped potion vial would have been?
Absolutely. Yes. The diamond shape is a shape that is no longer really used. This was for an upper caste of dwarves and is considered quite expensive. For it to be made today, it would be a small fortune in your hall. And it is an art that is difficult to create this perfect diamond shape. You have a singer in your hall that probably could do it. But they work mostly in stone, this being crystal and glass is a little beyond their expertise. The crystalline structure is for usually potions of restorative properties, something that nobles would keep close in case of need, right, or harm to their bodily person.
Okay, I will share that information. These are probably more than simple healing potions. The diamond shape like this was reserved for restorative magic. They are no longer used, but they would have been very expensive to create.
If they're expensive, we might want to wait until we can identify them accurately, rather than wasting one.
Certainly, yes. And once we have drank it, I would love to keep the bottle. I never achieved the skill to create them.
Indeed. It sounds like the bottles themselves will have value even once the potions are drank.
That is very likely.
Especially if we travel to a dwarven city where they're renowned. Dwarven Hall.
There are both kinds. Cities and halls.
I want to take a look at this golden warhammer.
I was about to say, Greg, how heavy is the hammer?
The hammer is very heavy.
I wasn't close enough to the thing to detect magic on the hammer, was I?
You detected magic on the hammer, and it was not magical.
Okay.
The hammer itself is about the size of your torso. The head of the hammer. The shaft is another probably body length or so. It is massive and meant to be wielded by a 20-foot tall statue. The weight of it is immense. As you try to pick it up, you find yourself unable to do so by yourself.
So I'm gonna say, Sambar, let's see if we can lift it together. And I'm gonna go down to like the far end where you'd hold it's like the shaft, and then he can lift the head, and let's see if we can lift it up between the two of us.
All right. Between the two of you, you creak your muscles and your backs, and you get into it. You find that you can lift it off the ground with all of your strength combined, but moving it would prove to be very difficult indeed.
I'm literally about to say, we came down a shaft.
We can't carry this thing up.
Out of. I just wanted to see if I could pick it up and then drop it on something and then be content, right? Like, I just wanted to smush something. It's a big hammer.
Well, if we could find some way to transport it, it's not exactly doing much good down here anymore. And a giant chunk of gold like this might be worth a decent payday.
If we could remove it. which is unlikely.
Is there any way we could get out of here?
And I'll turn and I'll look at Janlar and I'll be like, Janlar, can you reduce its size? Is that the skill you have access to?
Could he levitate it?
No, I cannot reduce its size.
I think levitate
I
caps it.
believe levitate caps like 200 pounds or something. Like that.
I thought it might have been 500
Yeah, it might
maybe,
be
but
500, right.
a
500
solid
might-
hammerhead's probably
500 would make sense if we can lift it together.
I'll check real quick.
What's that in the metric system?
500 pounds.
500 pounds. I do love how D&D is in pounds for me, though. That's nice.
Because it's
Yeah.
made by.
It's 225 kilos at 500
Oh,
pounds.
that's not that heavy.
That's fairly heavy.
No.
It's a quarter ton.
Between 3 people, we could carry that. That's fine.
No, like carrying between the 2 of us, we can lift it, right? So I figure
Yeah,
with the
so-
5 of us, we could carry it. The issue is getting it up the mine shaft.
Oh, there's no way we're getting it up a mine shaft. I already know that. I'm just saying, we could move it. It's
Okay.
just, we
I
can't
don't
leave
see
it.
a weight limit. Oh wait, no,
It's not-
up to 500 pounds.
Yeah.
I love how Greg never intended for this hammer to be of that much interest, and then we're going to continue to spend 20 minutes
Yeah.
to try and get it
giant lump of
For-
gold.
for
what,
the
what player
record-
looks at this and is like, it's worthless.
For the
Oh,
record,
man.
1 cubic foot of gold weighs 1,200 pounds.
Is it actually gold or is it just gold coated?
Probably gold.
Is it just gold?
Yeah, it's probably not
painted?
pure gold if we
Like,
can
is
lift
that
it.
pure gold?
If we can lift it, it's probably not pure gold.
Work.
Or Greg didn't do the mental math to figure out how heavy a solid gold object would actually be.
A, I did not do the mental math. B, it's clearly gold coated because it's useful as a weapon, right? Gold
Yeah.
is soft; it wouldn't work.
I mean, to be fair, if the hammer head was made of solid gold, it would be so heavy that its malleability
Its
would be
mass wouldn't matter.
less important than its
It
malleability.
becomes very obvious to Sambar and Tom as they handle the weapon that it is a coating of gold, a thick coating,
yeah.
but not a solid gold hammer.
Right.
I never planned on leaving. I was just trying to squish something with it, but you know. Is there anything else worth taking? I mean, I don't feel right taking from this place. I've already eaten enough things from the Silver Lord's realm, but you know.
Sambar looks around and licks his lips. Is there anything else to eat?
As I say that, I pull out the orange out of the fucking urn that keeps it fresh, and I just start eating the orange.
I look around and I mean, this is a really big hall. So I say, Sambar, there's very likely more stuff here. We've only kind of looked up at
I
this
thought
one
we
side.
weren't taking from the dead dwarves. Isn't that like a bad omen?
Yeah, I've been avoiding looting the tombs. I'm only taking this because, I mean, I feel like we earned this hammer by right at this point.
We're not taking the hammer, Tom.
He can levitate the hammer, can't he? Janlar, can you levitate?
We can't get it up the shaft, Tom.
That's what the levitation is for.
I burn a levitation spell to check.
All
I
right.
thought you were out of spells.
No, I
He lied.
He was
got 4 spells left.
You burn a levitation spell, and
What a
you
rascal.
find that it is not enough to levitate the hammer.
How long does reduce last? Do you even have reduce?
He doesn't have reduce, and reduce only lasts for like 1 minute.
Reduce and enlarge is not the 2e version in this game.
It's agonizingly.
It does like
short
D4
for
damage if you have it. Like it's not. You're so much better off being hasted than enlarged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one nice thing that reduce does is it makes an object weigh either a quarter or an eighth as much as it originally does, but it only lasts for like 1 minute. It's painfully short.
Well, I could try melting some of the gold.
Oh my god. I quit on the hammer and I just start walking around the room looking
Yeah.
for things.
Yeah. I was
Rose,
gonna say,
how do
well-
you feel when Tom brings up melting down the hammer in front of you? Like,
Gorik will be like, let's just leave the hammer here.
Gorik, as you said, without this statue guarding the hall, everything here is up for the taking for like robbers. Do we not want to?
I look at the hammer that weighs, more than 500 pounds, and I'm like, You know what? If someone is able to steal it,
I'm not talking
I
about
think
that.
they earned it.
Janlar does not care about the hammer.
Like, if we wait till tomorrow, I could easily melt it. Look, I can make a really, really hot flaming sphere, and I could melt some gold. into it.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna cast locate object, and I would like to locate an object that is like a mithril key, Greg, and I'm gonna go far away enough so I don't hear talking about melting down places with giant fiery spheres. Okay, and I'll focus my task at hand so I don't get nervous.
All right, you try to locate a mithril key. You focused really hard on all the key-like objects that you've seen in your life. This is probably fairly new to you, actually, as you spent most of your life in the woods, right, before becoming a seeker. But
My first key I saw was the one I got to lock my room at the seeker's place.
Mhm.
I was like, what is this? And they explained to me, I was like, oh, so other people aren't supposed to go into other people's rooms?
Yeah, that's probably a really
Okay,
foreign concept.
I guess.
Yeah. So you begin thinking of all these different types of keys and of this new mithril metal that you've seen, and you cast locate object. Your kind of sonar-like waves of magic filter out through the walls of this place, trying to identify this key. And you wait to hear a response, and wait. Nothing comes back to you.
That's weird. I guess it stays on, but even as I keep walking, like, I guess back into the tomb area, there's nothing there, right?
No. As you walk around, continuing to send out your magical waves, no matter where you go in this hall, you do not feel anything come back to you.
Greg, you know the little corner where they found the potion box?
Yes.
I want to check the mirror image little corner and see if there's a potion, any sort of secret cache on.
Sure. Give me a
this
perception check as you investigate this area for particularly good lootings.
Hey, crit.
You do not see a potion cache. However, over here, you do find that there's quite a bit of gold buried in here. Gold, silver coinage of a forgotten age. There are, in fact, fine tools buried amongst the people here that catch your eye, particularly tools of a kind of glass-blowing trade. They seem to be very, very old. You would suspect they were ancient before you were even born, but they are still in what appear to be perfect condition, and finely crafted. The most impressive piece of treasure that you find here is a small statue of Ungral that has been painstakingly grown, almost it seems, from those same amber crystals that you find throughout the hall, and it gives off a faint dim light, just as they do when they sit upon the stone walls.
I will admire the glass blowing tools, but A, they're too heavy for me to carry without encumbering myself, and B, being buried with your tools is part of a funerary rite, so that would be like extra looty.
Quite looty.
Yeah. So Gorik will admire those, but he'll leave the tools. I'll take.
If we leave the tools, won't they just get stolen by somebody else? Isn't it better for us to take them and possibly bring them back to a more
I shake.
hall?
I'll shake my head and I'll tell you, if someone else wishes to rob this body, they can take the stain upon their soul for doing so. I shall leave.
We have your permission to take the hammer, right? You said that. I heard.
I look and I will tell you, if you are able to take the hammer, you can,
All right.
It is your reward for defiling this holy place.
We didn't defile shit, Gorik. You know that.
I look at the pile of broken Guardian in the middle of the floor.
Well, then maybe the Guardian shouldn't have attacked us.
Well, I was trying to find a way to turn it off before you smashed it to pieces.
Did you find a way?
Not yet.
Have you found a way?
Not yet.
Then there wasn't a way.
We could have outrun it.
No, we couldn't have. We specifically saw it just take massive 15-foot strides toward us, much faster than we could move.
It's 25 feet tall, Tom.
This whole place is like 50 feet tall.
Yeah, this room is. I point down the hall. I'm like, it doesn't.
The hall's still really big, right, Greg?
Yes, it is.
Does it look like the statue has access to the entirety of the burial chamber? Like it could have been out where we were fighting the goblins and the ghosts and everything else too?
It could move everywhere. So everywhere in this main hall, you think it could easily have accessed. In the large, if we go back to the Hall of the Ancestors, right?
Yeah.
For a second. In
Yeah.
this central hall, right? This main one with all the dwarven statues, you think it would have easy access to that. It would probably have easy access to this room over here where Ungral's book was.
Right.
But the actual individual tombs in the other locations would be a much tighter fit.
We could have gotten away from it eventually. It would have been harrowing, I'm certain. But I am not certain, and I point and like, it does not look like it leaves this large room that we're in right now. There are no bodies in the hallway that we approached from. Perhaps it only defends.
And what is it guarding exactly?
I sort of lift the mithril box. Probably this.
Yeah, probably the
You
very
could
magic
probably
reactor
remember
well.
the runes that you read that says Guardian of the Stone.
Yeah.
Stone. This doesn't seem like a burial hall, though.
Yes, it does. The walls
Oh,
of this
this whole
place are
thing?
lined. Yes, everywhere
Oh,
there's
this place
a
has-
wall,
okay,
it
this
is
also has-
lined with dwarven tombs, like dwarven
Okay.
bodies and
I
shrouds
thought this
and
was kind of like
catacombs.
something else then.
No.
Hmm.
No. It just hasn't been defiled by the goblins the same way the other ones have. Instead, there are dead goblins everywhere.
So yeah, Gorik will take the statue, and I think that is being buried with money important in dwarven funeral custom.
It can be. Especially for merchants.
Okay.
If you think of a blacksmith's hammer being the tools of their trade, a merchant being buried with coin is much the same.
Okay.
But you could just look it up, right, in the book of families and see if they were a merchant family.
She has a point. I will look up if I can figure out who these people
Alright.
that I found the gold buried with over here were.
You spend some time flipping through the Book of the Dead, searching through the name after name in the Amber Hall. Eventually you find that, yes, the majority of these people buried with coins were merchants. But there is 3d12. There is 29 gold pieces buried with bodies of relatives to merchants who themselves are not.
I will trade one of my gold coins for one of these like old, historically significant gold coins,
Sure. Okay.
and I'll leave the rest of them there.
All right.
And Janlar quickly look through the rest of the room while he's doing that, and just like with deck magic and inspect the rest of it. Or does it take too long? I don't know how long.
We've already done that, right? You detected magic and investigated. We've rolled dice for that outcome. You
Okay,
found the
that's fine.
potions.
Did Gorik tell us what the inscription said?
No,
I guess
don't
if you
think
didn't,
so.
I'd still ask.
Yeah,
That's-
we were in combat at the time. There was a lot going on. I probably didn't just read the whole inscription. But yeah, I'll tell you that it says what it said, Guardian of the Stone, and all of that.
So, do you think there's a stone in the book?
Based on the only information we have being the inscription, it seems possible.
Did the book say anything about a stone that belonged to that family?
I can check. Is this chapter still in the book?
Of the Amber Lords?
Yeah, I know you said there were some pages that had been ripped
There
out.
are some pages that have been ripped out. You can check for the Amber Hall, and indeed they are here. You've been searching through them, in fact, when you were looking up the names of the merchants.
Okay. Does it say anything about the box or the stone or anything?
It does not. Not that you can find.
Okay. I will share the information that you gave me, that it's likely that Lord Amber is probably interred beneath the statue, or where the statue was, rather. And I will say we can check his sarcophagus to see if there's a key that will open the box there.
Sure. We could also, if all else fails, we might want to just wait till tomorrow and have Janlar cast a spell for that. Assuming, can you? Are you capable of opening locks, Janlar?
No.
Oh, never mind.
Janlar really wanted to say yes, but no.
Yeah, he's our utility wizard, but he doesn't have knock or enlarge reduce.
Yet.
Right.
I mean, I could. Janlar
As a
thinks
wizard,
about
it's
the
only a
book.
matter of time.
If you guys want to help me out, I might be able to learn enlarge reduce.
What do you need? We have
To
a big
read.
hammer.
Strong
read-
arms to, pull
To
me
read
away.
his spoopy book, probably.
Real strong arms. Can I flip?
Sandbar
to-
has those.
Try to look.
I was
for
about to say, I
enlarge
was like, you see Sandbar flex, like.
All right, you open up the ancient spellbook from the realm of the Silver Lord, and you begin to flip through it. You can indeed find enlarge reduce, and you begin reading it.
Where are we going, enlarge reduce, or are we going knock?
He said enlarge reduce.
I thought you said you guys said you wanted me to learn.
No, we were just kind of mocking the fact that you can't
Oh.
use that stuff.
Oh, okay. You
It
want me to
works,
learn knock
that's
to try to break it open, or
Yeah, knock
Spell
was the
magic.
suggestion. See if we could pop open the box.
You begin reading enlarge reduce. That's
I'll
what
read-
you
yeah, I'll
told
read
me
enlarge
you were
reduce.
doing. And the page begins melting away in front of your eyes with each line that you read. It's a first level spell. It only takes about a page, and it locks into your mind, and you are certain that you could cast enlarge reduce. You go to close the book, and that voice kind of in the back of your consciousness calls back to you. No, the secrets of the world are here. Keep reading. Read me. Please mark one page as you read the enlarge reduce spell, and make a DC 8 plus your pages score wisdom saving throw.
Does Janla still have the whip?
He does indeed. Would you like to whip yourself?
I would like, you could whip yourself, or if you don't take it, I'm going to grab
Would
the
you
whip.
like to use Nathaniel's whip on yourself?
I do not have the whip on me. It is in my backpack.
Right. So I
Oh,
wouldn't say it
I-
anyway.
Sandbar has.
Samar
I've
has
got it.
Nathaniel's whip.
for the whip, I'm like.
All right. Are you using Nathaniel's whip?
Yeah, sure. I'll use it.
All right.
It was
You
actually-
see Janlar go to close the book and kind of struggle with it, and you, Sambar, you whip out this bullwhip, crack it across his back. Please deal
This is-
D4 damage.
This is the first time Gorik has witnessed this, because they found the whip after Vilith died and before they met up with Gorik, and the only time Janlar used it was when he was in the Seekers thing. So he just witnesses this and just
I
kind of.
don't think Janlar ever used it. I think
You
I've
you
never
whipped
seen-
yourself, Janlar.
Did I?
So
I
yeah,
don't
when
know.
you were reading the book in the tower.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're right,
So
you did. Yeah.
you
Gorik's
take.
never seen this, and he just kind of does the puppy
you
Yeah, I think
take
Tom is about as confused.
You take 2 points of damage as this whip cracks across your back, and you feel the inspiration rush through you. The pain focuses your mind. You get a D8 of inspiration to add to your saving throw here.
Okay.
I mean, that's totally worth it.
And then you said it's an 8 plus the number of
8
spells.
plus your pages,
Okay,
right? We've
which
talked
is
about you
9.
marking pages.
Yeah. So it's 9 pages.
All right, so it's a DC 17 check, wisdom
Oh, that's
saving
hard.
throw. You can add
Holy
your
sh-
D8. from the
Wisdom saving
inspiration.
throw? Yikes.
Wisdom saving throw.
So you get to add the D8.
I'm gonna do the D20 first, and then the 8.
All right.
It don't even
Ooh,
matter.
that's a
Don't
fail.
matter.
Doesn't matter.
You roll an 8, that's a 16. So it's a 14. You fail. Despite the clarity that the whip gives you, You give in, and you turn another page and begin to read it. As the spell page begins to drift down the page, every word is disappearing in front of your eyes, locking it into your brain. It turns out that Enlarger Deuce is right next to Knock, and so you are pretty certain that you learned the Knock spell deep into your mind. Please mark one page. As you
Can I take the book from him as I see him going?
I was gonna say, should I pull out like my hammer and say, do we need something a little bit more inspirational?
I did tell you I need some strong arm.
If you
You
try
guys
to
have-
rip you go up
Yeah.
to rip the book from Janlar's hands, and you see his hands instinctively like grip like iron onto the book as he holds
okay.
onto it.
Kiss that
Please make opposed strength athletics checks. Janlar, please add your pages to the result.
I accept your challenge.
Janlar is
that-
suddenly the Hulk.
Is that
He just
10
rolls a
pages
one.
now,
Yeah,
or is it 11?
It's 10
It's
now.
10, so he just has to roll 6 or less.
Um,
Or
You
5
said
or less.
athletics or
Athletics, strength, opposed checks, and you add your pages to the result.
so it's -1 plus 10, so it's plus 9.
That is how math works.
Just talking it out to myself.
All right,
fuck, man.
Sambar, you grip onto the book, and Janlar's fingers just latch onto this thing. And as mighty as you pull, you can't break his grasp on it. In fact, he rips it away from you
right.
and begins to turn the page.
can I ask?
There we
Frog
go.
and then
I
punch
have a
him in the
question
mouth.
as well. I have a question as well.
Sure.
I have turned myself invisible before, Greg.
Uh-huh.
When you turn yourself invisible, you don't see yourself or what you carry anymore, right?
That is an existential question of invisibility that I don't really know the answer to. If you hold
Because so
your invisible
invisibility
hand next
says
to your face,
anything
you
the
see.
target is wearing or carrying
Turns
is invisible,
right? But
on
it
the
is invisible
person.
to other people. Are
It
you
should be invisible to you,
yourself?
right? Because it's physically changing you. It's not like a trick. If you could still see it, that'd be like, I'm just tricking other people's eyes. Which seems more like,
I mean, you can make a. I'm just saying, I would know because I've done it before to myself, right?
Sure. Why don't we say this? In this world, turning invisible makes yourself and the objects you carry invisible to you.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
I'll cast invisibility on him then.
Wait. Invisibility makes you invisible to yourself, but no one else? That seems very counterintuitive.
Well, it includes yourself in the invisibility spell.
Oh, okay.
That would be hilarious, though. Oh man.
All right. Rose, you step up and you cast invisibility on Janlar. Please. I don't even think you need to roll. No, what does it look like? What happens when you cast invisibility on Janlar?
I just take some of my seeds out of my pocket, right? And I shake them. And as I shake my hands, they seem to get fuller and fuller. I open my hands and I just blow on him, and it's like a storm of leaves that just, blow over him, and he just disappears, and just a pile of
Right.
leaves for a second that then disappears. So there's just nothing left after.
Right.
Pocahontas invisibility.
Yeah.
This is
The colors
much
of
nicer
the
than what I had in
wind
mind.
wash over Janlar. And Janlar, you no longer can see the book in front of yourself, and this whispering voice in the back of your mind slowly subsides. You once again are in control of your own faculties.
I'll just say, Janla.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Tom
I can
Tom
cast
stops from he's rubbing his knuckles, ready to just crack Janlar.
Yeah, I
across
was
the
about
jaw.
to say, the moment he snatches it away and turns from me, I was going to punch him in the back of the skull, Sarcophagus style. So, so lucky.
I was gonna go right for the jaw right there, try and knock him out.
I like the idea
I'm
that,
like-
Janlar collapses when he turns invisible, right as Tom and Sambar punch each other's fists right where it's
Tom
Yep.
is gauntlet of metal, so.
Okay, have we all calmed down? Yep. Okay.
Very cool.
I'm gonna
feel
snap
like-
my fingers so he can turn back visible, and I break my concentration.
I feel like right as Rose goes, have we all calmed down? That's when Goric pulls the slab off of the tomb.
You can pull the slab. It does in fact seem to slide out. There is a little kind of lever that you didn't see when you were looking the first time. As you press it, it kind of unlatches, and with a great heave of strength, you are able to unlodge the stone dais that was the statue was standing upon, revealing underneath a great sarcophagus, along with a formidable array of wealth. Small statues made of these amber crystals, large piles of gold, mithril, and silver. There are chalices and pieces of artwork underneath, along with a very fancily carved stone sarcophagus underneath.
Any keys?
You search around for some keys, you do not find any.
Okay. I will open the actual sarcophagus.
Okay. You open the actual sarcophagus. You need to make me a DC 17 poison saving throw, please.
Alright. I had a feeling it was probably trapped, but I'm not a rogue. So the likelihood of me finding anything would have been bad. Con, thief.
Greg, do I think I could theoretically inscribe knock into my spellbook while we're
yes,
here?
you can make a spell save. You can learn inscribing it the same process we did before, right? With the Arcana checks and some downtime to do it. It will obviously cost you a page. That is a 12. That is not a success. So as you push the edge of the sarcophagus open, you hear the crunching of glass vials on just the edge of the sarcophagus on the inside, and a foul mixture of poison gas leaches out of the sarcophagus. You will be taking...
Wait for it. You're dead.
72 points of poison damage.
12 points of poison damage as this foul poison just racks into you. It also gives you 1 level of exhaustion as your body just like rejects this poison, and you feel worn down and just more tired almost immediately upon inhaling the gas.
Does it dissipate or does it hang?
It hangs in the air, kind of in a mist around this for a little while, but after a minute or two, maybe a wave of your hand, it will eventually dissipate.
I was gonna say, because if it doesn't just like cloud and then dissipate, I will definitely kind of stagger away and let it dissipate naturally before.
Yeah, you stagger away for a few moments, let it dissipate, and then come back to the open sarcophagus. You see the skeletal form of the Lord of the Amber Hall, arms clasped in front of him, shrouded with a silk shroud with the dwarven runes of the Amber Hall stitched upon it. Inside the sarcophagus itself, you see a large crown made of gold and very intricately designed, resting on his skeletal head.
But no key.
No key.
I sort of look at it, and Gorik just... Not much of a guardian. No key. And I look at the crown, and I'm like, there's no guardian here anymore. I just triggered the trap. I look at the shattered glass vials. I don't think it resets.
Trying to pick up the little vials, like set them back up. Nope.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, I just like I inhale as much of the gas as I can, and I'm like frantically like pulling it back into the sarcophagus to like close the lid of the gas trap. No.
See Sambar's head poke over your shoulder. You're contemplating taking the crown, aren't you?
I don't know what to do with it, Sambar. I don't want to take it. This is where it belongs. But
How about we close it all back up and you break the latch that opens the slab to make it harder to get into?
I was wondering, do we want to just collapse the entrance to the hall?
I was thinking we could put the big fuck off hammer on top of it.
that's not a terrible idea.
Thank you. Came up with it just now.
I support that decision. Let's do that.
Okay, like, get out of it. I don't want to put you in. I know you're old, but you're not that old. Come on, out of the sarcophagus.
All right, so what's your plan here? You're going to collapse the entirety of this hall so that it can't be accessed?
No, I think
We're just gonna.
we're gonna put the hammer on top of the sarcophagus lid so that it can't be opened again.
And
Okay.
I'm going to fuck with the little latchy thingy so that you can't slide the top off.
Okay.
Yeah, you said there was a lever that makes the thing easier to open.
Yes.
So
Yes, it does.
we'll break the lever so that
All right.
it's locked in the.
You and
heart.
Sambar, with your rippling muscles, are able to latch the stone back in place as best you can. You take a hammer or your short sword and you hack into this small lever you find until you are satisfied that it is broken. And now you need to move this hammer onto the stone dais. Between the two of you, you can lift it. I want you to make an athletics check to see if you can actually get it onto the dais. I'm gonna have the one with the higher athletics check roll with advantage from the help of the other.
Thank you. I was about to ask, would you like me to roll with advantage?
Yes.
Yeah.
I got a 14. Apparently I'm rolling like trash today.
You begin moving the hammer and sliding it over until you get to the stairs, and you find you just cannot lift this hammer between the two of you up and over these stairs, and you fall short of placing it on the dais.
As we're doing that, I lean on it for a second. I'm like, hey, Chandler, you read the book, right?
Wait. I thought we were gonna melt the hammer down.
No, fuck that. Come on, make me big. I want to feel big. Make me big.
Gorik's like, I'm sorry, Sambar. That gas took it out of me. I'm afraid I can't be as much help as I normally would be.
You see the way
it's
the book
okay.
works.
Look, don't waste your magic. I'll help you, Sambar. I'm disappointed we're not melting this hammer down, though.
You know what? And I just like reach into my bag. I take out 160 gold, and I just go, here.
To me?
Yes.
I'm confused. The reason I'm not casting a large reduce on you is because I don't want to lose the ability to cast the
I
magic.
know, but he was complaining about melting it, so I'm just gonna dump
I
100.
don't want your money, Sambar.
About the money.
All right, so
I want a little bit of it, and I take like a little bit of the gold that he offered me.
how many?
And I'll take like probably 15 gold.
I appreciate your tithe.
Thank you for the donation. But I'll help him lift the hammer in place because between the two of us, we were strong enough to lift it up.
All right, you help Gorik and Sambar. Maybe Rose and Janlar move in.
No way.
Probably not.
No. Oh, okay, it's just the three of you. Given enough time and enough energy, the five of you can find a way to move this hammer onto that stone slab. It will probably take you a couple of hours to do it, because it is heavy and difficult and awkward to move it up and down stairs. But eventually, after a few hours of sweat and labor and probably some yelling and cursing at each other, you get this heavy hammer on top of the dais the way you want it.
Greg, can I have another look at that chest? Is it actually a keyhole, or is it just a hole for something else?
It looks like a keyhole to you. How could you tell if it was not a keyhole? What are you looking for on it?
I guess if it was like perfectly round or something, it wouldn't be a keyhole, right? Because keyholes usually are like at least
It is.
like
It is
like that.
It is clearly ovoid in shape. There is some distance into it that you can see. I guess like that kind of dark hallway look of a keyhole. It reminds you very much of a keyhole.
Mm-hmm.
Try putting your finger in it.
My finger is probably too big to fit into the hole.
I just thought you had dainty little fingers. I didn't.
Didn't Janlar take the knock spell? Isn't that?
I did.
He's
Do
gonna
we
write it
want-
down, though.
I'm pretty sure that 5e knock sucks though. Let me check.
Yeah, I have no idea what the knock spell
That's
does.
not terrible. It'll unlock it.
They're
I
all
just learned
debating
it, so let's see
the
what I
knock spell.
It opens like a window somewhere.
see what I learned. Knock.
Greg, while they're debating the knock spell, like in character, I'm like, can I just like search the goblins to see if they had previously looted beforehand?
You can search the goblins. Many of these corpses are bones, dust.
Oh, yeah.
They are ancient and old. Some of them are rotten within the last few months, and they give off a decomposing, disgusting smell. You begin searching through all of the pockets and things that you find. You mostly don't find anything of value. What you do find are battered and just almost near destroyed weapons. They seem to have been hit by something very massive and heavy, and they have bent and damaged the scimitars and bows and arrows that they wield. But you don't come across anything of monetary value on these goblin bodies.
All right, well, does anyone else have anything we have to do in this room?
No, I had enough of this.
Not anymore.
Air. Can we go outside?
Who was the last heir of the Ember people?
Who's last king or like ruler?
Like the last person of the family that was born, because they would be the ones that have their heirlooms, I would assume. So maybe they have the key?
Perhaps.
Good thought.
The key may have been taken when they abandoned the Amber Hold as well. It may not even be down here anymore.
We could always find a shady person in town to open it for us.
That's true. Or Janlar's magic may simply unlock it for us.
Okay, can we discuss this outside? I want to see a tree and some grass, you know what I mean?
There's one branch of tombs that we haven't gone down, right? Still.
That is correct. The one with the large pile of rubble in it. Yes.
Do we want me to cast knock on box or the box now?
I think we should just take the box with us, and we can cast knock later.
Okay.
Then you can
Nobody
write it
allowed
down
me
as
to
well.
Cast it multiple times. So.
All right.
Yeah.
So, it seems like the five of you are getting ready to leave the Tomb of the Amber Lords.
Wasn't there one? Wait, we still have one place that we never checked. I think we might have a little more goblins.
Yes.
The rubble path, Greg.
The Rebel Path. Is that where we're heading next? The five of you are heading to clear out the last of these dwarven tombs.
Ideal. Gorek would definitely want to make sure the goblin infestation had been dealt with.
All right. So after you've spent some time investigating this hall and finding what you will, I do want to know, do you take these potions with you that Janlar found?
Yeah.
So you take those.
Yeah.
And
I was gonna give one to each of them.
Dead men can't drink potions.
all right. So the five of you gather yourselves together, having you done your investigation, taking some time to regroup, and begin making your way down the hall once again to the kind of rubbly area that you have yet to trespass down. We have gone for a couple of hours here, actually, without taking a break, so I think we are long due for one. Why don't we take a break here, and when we come back on the other side, we will finish our exploration of the dwarven tombs here. We'll see you then in about 5 or 10 minutes, everybody.